This is the Asus Zephyrus G14. Hello everyone, happy Independence Day from the team of Shutter and Voyages. Today we have something really exciting for you. I have been waiting for this device for a very long time, like the day it was announced at CES, and I was really excited. I wanted to get my hands on this device. This is the Asus Zephyrus G14. I have the black color, and this is just a new Zephyrus 14-inch model, a gaming laptop. But you know what's unique about this device is the AMD 4000 series processor. I mean, AMD has completely changed the processor game and processor industry. It's like they have reinvented the whole industry at once, and now it's like, I mean, this laptop, it's a 14-inch device. It's not very heavy. You can see it's a gaming laptop. Obviously, you cannot compare it with an Ultrabook, but it's a decent device. It's still the power it holds and the raw processing power. It's just awesome. I mean, it beats my 16-inch MacBook Pro hands down. So this is really a powerful device, and today we are going to take a look at this device, the performance and everything. One thing I'd like to include at the start of the video is that the battery life on this device is amazing. I am getting 8-9 hours of easy battery life on light web browsing, like normal internet browsing and stuff like that. So it's really amazing. The anime display, this one lights up. This is also again very good thing about this device. So let's get started and let's see the device in more details. So, talking about design, Asus has really streamlined the design of this laptop. This is not a very flashy gaming laptop. This is just a single place where you will find the ROG branding, and it is very sleek and a lot less flashy. Let's talk about ports. Uh, Before that, I'd like to point out one thing I was really surprised about, that despite having all the ports, I mean, this laptop has all the required ports, it lacks a card reader. So I was a little surprised. I mean, this could have been a great laptop for creators, but they have chosen not to. So this is the charging port. This is the HDMI, full-fledged HDMI. This is the USB Type C, and this is the microphone and headphone jack. These are the side vents to dissipate heat. On the left side, it is USB Type C, two USB Type A ports, again the fan vents, and the Kingston lock, which I never understood what it is for. Moving to the back, the laptop has a really distinct look in the back. It's a gaming laptop, so it's a flashy. There are a lot of pointed lines. This is the Zephyrus branding on the back. You can open the laptop with one hand. There won't be much issues in that. Other than that, it's let me just frame the camera. It's pretty decent. I mean, I the trackpad, it's not as big as of the XPS or the MacBooks, but it's good. The responsiveness of the trackpad is really good. I'm really happy with the trackpad. The keyboard also has proper key travel, and you won't have any issues with the keyboard. Typing on this keyboard is a bliss. You'll definitely enjoy. So this is the fingerprint scanner, and this is some a software Asus provides for gaming purposes. You can tweak out the CPU performance and everything. These are the microphone mute button and the volume up and down. It's a pretty sturdy design. These are the speaker grills. The speaker is okay. It's not that loud, and it lacks a little punch on the top range, but it's still a decent device. This is the ROG Zephyrus. I don't like these thick bezels, but it's still okay. I'm not complaining. This is a gaming laptop at the end. This is the anime display. It shuts down automatically on the battery after a while. Let's talk about the charger. It is a 180 watt charging brick. Let me quickly focus it. This is the ROG logo, the ROG branding. You can see this is a 180 watt charger. This laptop supports 60 watt charging via the USB-C, but it's only 60 watts. It doesn't support a full 180 watt, and it requires the 180 watt to run all the components. And if you want maximum performance, you should use the laptop at 180 watts. This much raw power with an Ultrabook. This is a proper gaming laptop, and it is just, I mean, it blew my mind. It is perfect. It has great performance. I was waiting for a very long time for this. And let's talk about performance. This is a Geekbench score. It scored around 1190 points on a single core, and 7702 on a multi-core score. To give you reference, my 16-inch MacBook Pro scored less than this. I'm not talking that, I'm not comparing the performance between these two. I understand the optimization and everything else. But it's a huge difference between that. I mean, 16-inch model and a 14-inch device. It's a huge difference. Other than that, this has the 4800H CPU. I bought the 4800 one because there was only 5% increase in performance in 4800 and 4900, and I use MacBook as my daily driver and as my main device. So there was not much of a difference in sense of raw processing power, and in comparison to that, it is pretty decent device even in the base models like the 4600H. If you compare it with i5, or for that matter even initial some i7 models, it will perform better. AMD has gone crazy. Honestly, AMD has done so much in the processor department. I mean, as a tech reviewer, I feel they have brought back excitement to the computer chipsets. It's not only about mobile chipsets now. They have brought back the excitement to computer chips also. So talking about, this is the AMD Ryzen 5 Mobile 4800H. This is a 7 nanometer based processor, and this model specifically has 16 gigs of RAM, fast 3200 megahertz of 16 gigs of RAM, and 1 terabyte of storage. This is really good that they are giving 1 terabyte of storage. Other than that, this is the Cinebench R20 score. This is 3899 points. It performed better than even the older Xeon processors. I mean, it performs better than 12 core processors and Xeon, which is like a workstation grade processor. So the performance is just crazy. Other than that, here is the Cinebench R15 score of 1712. It performed very good in Cinebench R15 also. I mean, the scores of these the normal benchmarks are awesome. I enjoyed the performance also in general, and it's pretty good. Other than that, if I show you the Blackmagic Design editing test, uh, I think you can edit almost 8K videos on it, like 38 or 24 FPS videos. This is the main CPU and GPU test. It's very resource heavy. You can see you can edit pretty much all the way down in on CUDA, like on the GPU, and on CPU also you can go up to 4K. You can cross even 4K. You can do 8K also. It will be a little choppier. Other than that, if I talk about uh, editing performance, if I talk about content creation, the timeline on editing is smooth. I mean, you won't feel a lot of choppiness while scrubbing. This is a 4K timeline. Other than that, I'll be making a separate video about editing. I'll be describing everything, like, I edit a lot of videos on my laptop. I have used this laptop to edit my previous video, the OnePlus Nord 1. So it will just be to give you an idea about whether you should buy this or not. One thing, as you can hear, the fans get loud when in turbo mode. There are three modes: silent, performance, and turbo. In silent mode, the laptop is pretty much general, like browsing internet and stuff. It will start to uh, you know throttle a little, but other than that, it's pretty good. When coming to performance mode, it's like the middle ground between turbo and silent mode. Again, the performance increases, so does the fan noise. And this is the turbo mode, which I am currently running this on. You have to connect the power adapter to run it on turbo mode. And on this mode, the fans go loud. It's still not a vacuum cleaner, but it's loud. It's like really loud. Other than that, the gaming performance is also good. I mean, I played Battlefield 5, I played Far Cry, I played Forza Horizon, I played GTA 5. I'll be putting a video also about the gaming performance. It's all good. You're expected to be performing. I mean, this laptop has so much raw power that it is bound to perform good in gaming also. Other than that, one thing I noticed that if you plug this into the battery, the performance is great. Like you get the Geekbench score of 7700 on multi-core and 1100 on single core. But if you unplug the computer, the performance decreases drastically. I mean, the chips inside are so power hungry that the battery cannot keep up with that. So you have to keep in mind that to get the most out of this device, you have to keep it plugged in. Other than that, there are not much of a drawback or cons to this computer. I definitely like the screen. I mean, it's a good screen. I won't say it's the best screen I have ever tested. It's a good screen. I don't like the bezels. I mean, it's 2020. Come on, you cannot give this bigger bezels. The laptops practically have no bezels these days. But I have made my peace with it at the moment because we don't have any solution compared to that. Other than that, the refresh rate 120 hertz. This is a 120 hertz 1080p display. The refresh rates compensates for the lack in performance, the lack in 4K display. And if you are specifically into color grading, I would not recommend this laptop because the screen is not ideal or accurate for color grading. Other than that, it is a decent laptop. Everything is good. No performance issues, nothing till now. AMD has really outdone themselves or even outdone my expectations with this laptop. I wasn't expecting it to be this good. I have seen it in a lot of videos like Dave 2D's video. I'll be linking it to his video. You can check the link above. It's a good review, but I wasn't expecting it to be this good. And when it came in my hand and the performance was like bonkers, I was like, okay, this is like AMD has done some real wizardry with this one. Like this competes with i9 and much heavier laptops and with much better, more space to cool the laptop. So overall, the performance is really good. I cannot complain about anything in this one.